Hi everyone, it's Rachel Brown, your Santa Barbara real estate resource. Happy Friday. Just wanted to go over a couple things with you. I want to first of all explain some of the statistics that we're seeing lately, and then also just my tip for the week. So first of all, the statistics. A lot of you may have seen my post that our prices are up right now about 34%, and our median price point is about 1.7. So as a buyer, you may be thinking, wow, 1.7, can't afford that. And as a seller, you might be thinking 34% increase, that's great. Let's put our house on the market for 34% more. These are not always the cases, and these are not true in some situations. So let me just explain first of all what is skewing that median price point right now. Before we had a lot of inventory from Montecito and kind of the higher end of the spectrum here that was sitting. And so now that stuff, we have such low inventory right now that stuff is getting scooped up, and that's in demand. So we're seeing a lot of sales just in that higher price point. What we're seeing in the lower price point is that there's not a lot of inventory. Houses are not coming on the market. I know a lot of buyers have been frustrated in the lower end where it's, you're just trying to buy a normal home in Goleta, and there's just nothing for sale. So with the fewer sales in Goleta and kind of are more around what our normal price points are, about that 1.1, 1.2 price points, we're not seeing a ton of those. So that tends to be skewing that number. So it is a little bit skewed, so bear with us. Hopefully things will come on as we get more into the year. But it's not going to cost you 1.7 to buy a house in Santa Barbara. That is a little bit off. We are seeing really quick days on the market. I think the average time right now is 57 days on the market, which isn't bad at all. And again, so right now it seems like those higher price points tend to be skewing our numbers a little bit. So the second thing I wanted to talk to you about is lenders. Why do we shop local? So there are a lot of companies that are online, Loan.com, Quicken Loans, things like that. And those are great. You can get great rates. They've got good processes. It's all good when it goes good. When it goes bad, it goes very, very bad. So I know a lot of people tend to rate shop and try to get that extra little bit off their monthly or off their down payment, closing costs, things like that. But sometimes, and almost all the time, it can be worth it to go to a local lender, pay that tiny bit more because you're going to get into your house. A lot of times Santa Barbara has some kind of funky policies and funky homes. They're older. And so, if you're working with a local lender, you have the ability to talk to them, and they can talk to their underwriters directly. You're not just one number in a pile. That's not a big deal. And if yours doesn't go through, on to the next. One of the pitfalls of this is if you're trying to save on closing costs, you may end up spending $1,000, $1,500 in reports, and if you don't get the home, you not only lose the home that you wanted, but you're losing out on that money because you get kicked out of escrow if your loan officer can't perform. We have a lot more control over that when we do have a local lender. I can call them on their cell phone, text them, things like that, as opposed to trying to call a big bank, getting through to the manager, those kinds of things. If you do want to go with your own bank, a lot of times if you do banking with that bank, they will give you a great rate. That's great. However, I would caution, find a local person at your local bank. Talk to them so that you have a contact, someone that's on it. I would not recommend just going through their system. I think if you can have someone that that you can trust, that's going to fight for you if anything does go sideways, I think that's always a huge help. So as I said before, we need things to sell. So if you're looking to sell your home, or someone who is, please reach out to me. I have a ton of buyers that are just looking and waiting and ready to buy, totally qualified. It's a great time to buy. So anyways, have a great weekend. Talk to you soon.